Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Washington Redskins. With that, let's get on up to FedEx Field near Washington. Standing by for the call of this one, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And, Coach, we find ourselves due east from our nation's capital at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Just a few moments ago, it was the Redskin defense being introduced, and the largest cheers went for their Pro Bowl quarterback, Josh Norman, as he and his guys get set to do battle with the Houston Texans. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they enter play here. They come in playing some decent football, 5-3 in their last 8 games.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they coming off their very first loss of the year, suffered a week ago.
Yeah, it will not be a perfect season, but I'm interested to see how they bounce back now that they know that chasing the 1972 Dolphins is out the window.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading them out is their quarterback, the former 12th overall pick. Some refer to him as the natural, Deshaun Watson.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. Even with the nice move, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
DeAndre Hopkins was named All-Pro for the first time in 2017. And really don't have to do much but look at the statistics to know why. 4 touchdown grabs in 2016, jumped that up to 13 in 2017. That led all NFL receivers. Also added in 96 catches and close to 1,400 yards. DeAndre Hopkins' ability to get free in the secondary is a marvel, mainly because of head fakes and body control.
That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. A look here on your screen at how Washington's going to line up defensively. They've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Watson. And shedding through the tackle. It's hauled in by Ellington. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now a first carry for Deontay Foreman, who was lost to the Achilles injury last year. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Down! Back 22!
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. Oh, and now he bowls him over. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game, the effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
They'll try to run for it with Miller. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times. And what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
The Texans send the punter out. Back deep for the Redskins, Jamison Crowder. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some snacks.
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
Now the first carry for Adrian Peterson. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Runs through the contact. He takes this for 3 to the 29. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
They'll run it. Here's Peterson. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
They run again on first down. Peterson. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Partner, you know I'm always going to listen to you first, okay? But when I hear the PA guy say, tackle in the backfield by Clowney, my first thought is to go back to his days at South Carolina and that one particular hit in the bowl game against Michigan.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. This one maybe not as big as that, but my mind goes there as well.
Yeah, but he's a talented individual because you can use him in so many different ways. Obviously, a defensive end. He can play stand-up outside linebacker, and in nickel and sub situations, rush him inside against offensive guards is usually too quick for him.
They give it to Peterson. And some space here. And he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take down one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Here we go now.
They go play action here on first down. He'll get this out to his running back, P-Ryan. Nothing on that one. It'll be second down. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
The undisputed leader of Houston's defense is J.J. Watt, who's been slowed by injuries over the last 2 seasons, only 8 games combined. But also, he gets work done off the field. The NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2017, with his work helping the flood victims of the city of Houston raise nearly $40 million for the cause.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complementary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
Out to his left. He'll drop it off to P-Ryan, complete. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
And, Brandon, as we continue to see, so much of the influence on this game is now coming from those hybrid-type players. In this case, strong safety, not worried about covering the pass. What a play on the run.
Tackled for a loss.
Yeah, forget the pregame introductions. He introduced himself with authority on that play.
And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a first down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. He'll drop to throw. Dancing to his left. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
On second down, Peterson. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Adrian Peterson, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Redskins have taken a first-quarter lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Hopkins with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told, and it's capped off by a touchdown run by Adrian Peterson. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
On second down, here's Miller. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
I think what we just saw their partner was linebacking speed that can trump O-line power. We see that at times because he filled the gap before the offensive lineman could get to the next level and take him on.
From the gun on third, Watson. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down.
And that's a crusher right there. Had his man open for a first down, threw a fastball when that wasn't necessary. Incomplete pass. When are these quarterbacks going to learn? You don't get extra points for how hard you throw the football.
12 yards on the return that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. A good starting spot for the Redskins as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Finding some room at midfield. And he's going to get this into enemy territory at the 45. That burst good for 20 and a first down. 1 quarter down. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. They're going to look to throw. Looking for his tight end read, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they've bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down, and the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
The Texans on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Out of the gun, Watson. That's caught by his tight end, Jordan Akins. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. And how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up the first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, he usually gets it done. And a solid run down inside the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Now a play fake here on first down. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Jonathan Allen in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And he's got some space here. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers, Steel Curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the Steel Curtain was played. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I would keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were.
First down, he'll drop to throw it. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now it's Watson, a bootleg. Caught left side, Hopkins. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. First catch of the game for Hopkins. It's a first down. The Texans with the first opportunity now from the red zone. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. A A shotgun snap for Watson. Caught. It's Ellington. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football.
Still 2nd down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So after the penalty, here's 2nd and 3. Again, it's Watson. This will be caught at about the 5. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
Reset. Down. Green, green,
Watson looks to throw again. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans are in for 6. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Fairbairn good with the extra point. And the lead is now 10-7. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
A first carry for Samaje Perine. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Well, good luck there as a ball carrier. You get handed that football, look up, oh, there's a big D tackle ready to swallow you whole for a loss.
Yeah, you kind of count on your guys to give you at least a little bit of time, a little bit of space to try and maneuver, but not on that one. And when you have a defensive tackle who is that strong, that agile, he's a lot to deal with. Sometimes you have to double him, and sometimes you're not able to block him no matter who's trying.
That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Leopard! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone!
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He's going to let this one go. That's caught inside the 20. And he'll be down deep in Houston territory. Big yardage that time for the Redskins. And even 40 yards. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. back to FedEx Field following this short break. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They pitch it out to Peterson. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
He'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Covers that time by Aaron Colvin.
Quick hands that time to knock that one away. It sure looked like a short touchdown, but able to get a good break on the football and force the incompletion.
The Redskins on third down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. They'll set up to throw. Buying time to his left. A bullet throw, but incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what did you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. Here comes Bruce Ellington on the return. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. We get a glance at the Redskins defense as they go back out there now. See if they can regroup a little bit. They gave up the touchdown last drive.
And you know from our meetings with coaches all across the league, one of their pet peeves, when teams...
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now, there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So erase the flag. They decline it.
And did they use the big eraser, or was that the one at the end of the number 2 pencil?
Well, I was thinking the 2x2-inch ones that you can buy and use in addition to the pencil.
And those last forever.
A long time.
No doubt.
On second down, here's Watson. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. And let's see who's faster.
Underneath for Miller. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. First and 10, Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Fabian Moreau. And nothing but daylight ahead. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. They'll set up a throw. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Zach Cunningham. The Redskins going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. DJ Reader in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That sacks on back-to-back plays. So we have reached halftime here at a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin in the NFC. Dallas paying a visit to Atlanta. And that one finds the Falcons out in front. 2 touchdown passes there for the former MVP, Matt Ryan. From there, let's head up to Baltimore to check in on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. A.J. Green, over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown catch as well. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Jameis Winston with 3 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been as tight as we expected. All tied through one half of play. To call the second half, let's get it back to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. They'll look to throw here. Josh Doxson's got it complete. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. Now they'll run it on the toss. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. I'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. They don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
A toss play. This is Peterson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Zach Cunningham with a pick, and they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down, told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up, I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right, he talked about being cool. Will Fuller, nobody there to stop him. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. Watson hitting Fuller with a big one, 59 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
Watson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ryan Kerrigan, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. They get it to him running left. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans turn that interception into a touchdown. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes it a 17-10 score. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
The Redskins on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is third down and 12. They'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for when.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Mason Foster. Tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Man, blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. Play action for Miller. Now Watson. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down. The offense on third down tonight, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They're looking at third and a few inches. Now it's Watson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Zach Brown in there to get him, and that's sack number 18 for him on the year. And he's on the heels of winning the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award. He had a pair of sacks in last week's game, Charles.
So much for adjusting, so much for game planning, right? You know that he had the 2 sacks last week. Why aren't you able to block him? Sometimes the superior athlete just wins.
Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Again, Peterson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Now let's go. 319. 319. No. Check. Patriot. No. Check. Patriot. No. Check. Patriot.
On the ground, it's Thompson. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
The Redskins on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 7. He'll look to throw, and he fires one, but incomplete. Here's Tressway now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. comes Houston.
This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
A first down carry now for Miller. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Again, it's Miller. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
They go play action here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Zach Brown in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. From the gun, here's Watson. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Throwing on third down, Watson. Throw left side, complete. That's Griffin. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Well, that one was over before it could get rolling. How about the D just knifing into the backfield and shutting that one down?
Looking to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. The former number 1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. And they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation. Allows him to get home.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Ooh, with a juke. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. as we are just about set to go here in quarter number 4. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10, right at the 30.
Down. Back 22. Back.
To throw is Watson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Broken tackle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they have the Bible under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Zach Brown in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year.
Partner, the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker has so many different responsibilities. How excited do you think he was to get home with that blitz?
Yeah, he wants a sack. He got it. To throw on 2nd is Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Back 22.
3rd and long. It's Watson. And he's going to go down again. Matt Ioannidis in there to drop it for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
The Texans send the punter out as he's on for the 5th time here today. Crowder now to return. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up.
Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Richardson. And he's brought down after a good game. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Another tote for the workhorse here this afternoon. Peterson. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a 2 tight end set. It's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the 2 tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side of the line of scrimmage to balance things out. No matter what, though, when you see 2 tight ends on the field, your first thought is to think run. In this case, the offense was able to run successfully.
Touchdown, Washington! Adrian Peterson, his second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Nice execution there. Good job by the O-line getting him in for the second time.
And you always have to start with credit there when you're having a big game. I mean, you don't get there by yourself. That's rare. But how about the ability to see the proper holes, pick the proper place to go, and find his way into the end zone?
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the fourth. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown run by Adrian Peterson. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. So at the start of this game, it looked like the defense was wearing him down a little bit. Now you look at the numbers, that's kind of flipped.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. And his offensive line has really started to play well. And the best offensive line coaches I've ever talked to, when they have great runners, you know what they tell their guys? Relax, you don't have to be perfect. Get as many guys as you can, but if you leave one free, the great runner will either make him miss or go through him. So don't worry about that. You don't have to be so precise. Just go ahead, block some people, try and create some room, and allow him to go to work.
Here's Watson now on second down. Fuller brings it in over the middle. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down. Watson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Faking the give. Now Watson. He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Mason Foster in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Now how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync. Dials up a blitz. And the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Down. Black 22.
Now Watson looking to throw on second down. Ellington has it, middle of the field. And he's brought down after a good gain. 23 yards on the play. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now a handoff to Miller. Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside of the 40. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Black 22. Black 22.
Now a play fake here on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Texans have broken the tie. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Marshall now the return. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They'd have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out. Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
They're going to look to throw. And this one is incomplete. The Redskins on third down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This will be 3rd and 15. He'll look to throw. Hard throw. Incomplete. Here's Tressway now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs, and the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
They'll run it again with Miller. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
But they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another first down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively you've got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back.
DeAndre Hopkins, he's all alone. The 20, 10, touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, 83 yards. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35, but make it the 40-yard line.
There's no downplaying that we all knew that this was a critical possession, and to get a return like that to start things off, that's the spark that they needed. That's the spark they were looking for.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. A deep ball for Dotson. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Definitely desperation time. This just looks like, hey, throw it down there, hope that your guy can make a play.
You want him to make a play, but if not, maybe you get a pass interference call, and you know in the NFL, that's a spot foul. You get all that yardage. That would be a big play.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And this results in 6. Touchdown. And that one will
they'll pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Marshall now, the return. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talked about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
All comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? Dotson with a grab over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to throw here. And now here is another interception. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way. Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set him up.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here, back at the 21-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. On 3rd down, Miller. And now running right through it. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. Now it's Crowder. So possession goes over here on the punt. And here come the Redskins now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Back to throw. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
I think someone's going to get into QB1's ear when he gets to the sideline. Already thrown an interception. That one should have been picked. Look, let's just be honest about it. That'd be the second person in his ear because he's hearing it in the huddle right now.
Not the start to the game he wanted. Like you said, the pick on the opening drive, second drive, not much better. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Try and get it all back with one big shot right there, but even if successful, that doesn't get them all the way back to where they need to be. Can't totally abandon throwing the ball underneath as well.
They'll set up a throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 15. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Texans, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they will head home next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll have a quick turnaround as they're back in action Thursday afternoon at around 3:30 Eastern for the traditional Thanksgiving Day game in Dallas. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Baltimore.
Crab cakes will be waiting for us, partners. We head to the airport.
Heck yeah.